Today's matchup. Gen.G. Hanwha Life Esports. The Fantastic Run.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Summer 2018. It's our final match of the night on this Super Wednesday, and I am still Atlas. This is still Papa Smithy. We've still got one to go. Gen.G versus Hanwha Life Esports, which is going to be a pretty interesting match, considering the fact that Hanwha have also been doing fantastically well here in the LCK.
We kind of call them Schrodinger's team. We're never really sure about Hanwha Life Esports because the moment you build them up, they've been prone to fall. They were so close to ironing down fourth spot going into the playoffs in spring season, choked at the last moment. They're against Gen.G, who have been on a tear. They have looked fantastic. So it's hard to look past Gen.G, but it's our third and final match of the day, and it may be our most competitive.
Yeah, and we'll see whether Hanwha are going to make it difficult for Gen.G, because since Haru was the mainstay jungler for this team, it certainly has been win city for these guys, so we'll see whether it continues. But yeah, still wanting to catch up to Griffin, who got themselves one victory ahead. And Gen.G should be able to get over the line if they are able to get a 2-0 or even things out if it goes 2-1.
Gen.G, Griffin, and a FLICKR. That would not have been many people's top three guess after 4 matches, and yet all 3 may be 4-0. Such is the strength of those teams. The FLICKR have a very tough ask tomorrow.
Yeah.
But let's look at this game first. It's Gen.G, world champion Samsung Galaxy, then KSV, now Gen.G. They settled on this one. They tell me this forever. Don't know if they said that about the last 2.
So many different names, but it's still going to be the same ones, apart from the mid lane there with Fly instead of Crown, but Ruler, Core JJ, they've been the dynamic duo on the bottom side of the map. Core JJ sitting at a 25 KDA on a 4-0 Tahm Kench. Just don't let him get the Toadfish on the bottom side of the map. He's just too good.
And to me, Ruler was the best performer of week 1 of the LCK.
I
and
agree
in
with you.
style as well, saying, hey guys, I'm playing AD carry. If you guys aren't, it's because you're not good enough. And those were fighting words when he faced a lot of good AD carries. Bang and Prey already dispatched with easily. Gen.G have been taking on all comers with Haru cemented in the lineup as well. It's aggressive jungling, the Xinjiao, the Camille. I expect it to be back.
Yeah, I have a feeling it will as well. Of course, Ambition only playing their very first game of the season and their only loss that they picked up. But let's have a look over the other side of the rift on our red side. Starting today will be Hanwha Life Esports with Linderong, Songwon, Lava still in the mid lane. No Kuzan to be playing today, and it will be Sungyun and Key once again. Remember, this is also a 10-man roster. We may see complete change-ups of this one, but not going full SKT this time around for Hanwha Life Esports, and they will just be sticking with what worked, and it's been working well. Back-to-back 2-0s over their last 2 series, even though it was against BBQ and Jimin.
Sungyun being largely on those majors, 4-0 on the rise. So it feels like the tendencies are pretty clear for Hanwha Life Esports, whereas Gen.G, they've had Roller and Core JJ win games. Fly has won games as well with some great mid lane play. Haru has been a star, so a lot of people doing well for Gen.G. 6-game winning streak for Gen.G, 4-game winning streak for Hanwha Life Esports, but for Gen.G, you just can't help but look at last season and this season and see a really big step up, and it's in summer, it's in the time you need to be clutch.
Yeah, you have to remember that at the beginning of, oh my god, what is that disgusting graph? That, ladies and gentlemen, is Gen.G.
Actually, if you correct it a bit, it's a house.
Yeah, you just need to flip it over. Or an iceberg, or something like that if you flip it the other way. Not entirely sure. Whatever it is disgusting, because there are some ridiculous KDAs. With the tiny speck that was SKT in our last series, now to this monstrosity.
Hanwha Life Esports will be competitive as well. 8.7 team KDA for Gen.G, number 1 in the league. Hanwha, one of those teams that were able to get under the skin of Gen.G. Traditionally, you can see, since spring season, there's only been 3-game series between Gen.G and Hanwha Life Esports, but Fly is here now, and Fly is in career best form. Speaking of career best form, Haru, is he at the spring level from 2017? We can't say that yet, but he got a win with Rengar, and you would nod your head and say, all right, Haru, you're back.
Yeah, it wasn't the Blossom Rengar, it was definitely the Haru Rengar. Certainly a special pick for him. And I like that we put damage taken per minute on this graph as well, because it's showing that Haru has been a damage dealer, not a tank, not a damage taker at all so far this season.
Only taking names is Haru, who
Oh yeah.
won't be able to play the Taliyah in the jungle. We'll reiterate that when we hit Champ Select. Let's look at the two AD carries, because they are kind of AD carry versus Awesome Dude. Awesome Dude is kind of our joke because OGN has stuck with AD. Roller is the AD carry. He is only playing AD carries. The Kog'Maw the only lost, whereas the Songyun, really, he's only lost 2 games. One of them was on an AD carry, and he's largely been Rise Vlad only where possible.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Ruler is going to play, because, of course, Pilot just coming off a victory on the Kalista that we saw work fantastically well. Could be something that he goes towards, because as that AD carry pool starts opening up, Ruler's just going to be licking his lips, wanting to have a few more things that he can play on the bottom side.
And is there a way to force him onto the non-AD carries? Because in solo queue, he's certainly been practicing them, so we'll see how strong his resolve is. The fans are going to be voting for Gen.G, as you can see, in massive majority.
Yeah, absolute landslide for Gen.G, because the fans are smart. They can have a look at the fact that Gen.G have looked incredibly dominant, and it's not just the results that they've put forward, it's how they've been going about these results as well. They just look so clean, so controlled on the Rift.
Internal consistency has been a big thing for me in the LCK this season, because we've seen teams with tough schedules like SKT look poor on their own against good teams, and that makes you think, okay, I'm not sure they can actually perform when the opposition gets easier.
Yeah.
Internal consistency can be important, and Gen.G's has been top rate.
Well, we'll see whether it's going to be Hanwha Life that can stifle them and give Haru his first loss for the season as well. They're going to be starting on the red side this time around, and it looks like we are ready to jump into Champion Select for game number 1. So let's do it. Swain already hits the ban list.
Swain priority has gone up. The moment that we saw that the competitive meta would be not so many AD carries, lots of bruisers, then you knew that Swain and Anivia would be the natural counters. So Swain banned away, and Anivia a bit more situational of a champion. Can't blind pick it as easily. Kuro might try, but
yeah, he certainly would. And I feel like Anivia was week 1's choice, and then Swain was week 2's choice as far as the anti-bruiser idea.
So now my question is with Hanwha Life Esports, because do you try to ban out Haru, or do you try to ban out the mid laner Fly? That's kind of my interesting query, because you've got the Lulu and the Zoe, who have done a lot of work for Fly. You have the Camille Xinjiao that have been the big picks for his jungler in Haru. The Taliyah is going to see a ban, even though, guys, to update you, Taliyah and Karthus can both be played, but neither with Smite is the ruling that we are working under. Would have expected that to be a jungle pick. It's a pick for Fly as well, but Aurelion Sol is kind of his roamer of choice, and we hold hope that we will see more of his Aurelion Sol today.
Yeah, don't know whether that's going to be banned here as Hanwha do have the opportunity to do so, but plenty more still available that they might want to get rid of.
Zoe, Lulu are the first two I think of. No Master Yi or Tarek ban, and Haru does strike me as a Master Yi player if he can get his hands on it.
Well, Tarek is going to be the choice, so not the Master Yi, it's just the other side of the coin, so still probably not going to be the Yi pickup as QV. We'll see what they are going to lock in. Of course, Vladimir's standing out as a champion that's left open, but it's going to be the Lulu first pick that we've seen over and over again.
They're very good at laning into Vlad in the bot lane, so I think they just leave it open. They don't seem too worried about it. Ruler can go for either the Ezreal Machine or go for one of the other AD carries and work towards Blade of the Ruin King with lifesteal. Ryze is undefeated, so maybe he'll just open with that. But speaking of open, the Shen has made it through picks and bans. The Nocturne taken out, so no duos taken the first round. They start with the Shen flex pick. What do they want to put with here? Usually we see a bot laner picked in this round.
Could be the bot lane. It could also be the jungle. There's still a few things that are certainly available. Camille has been banned away, as well as that Nocturne, but things like the Xin have seen a lot of priority, but I feel like Haru probably isn't too worried about that. Has a lot of very aggressive junglers that he can go towards. So we'll see what Songwon decides to do. The Rise is going to be picked up here. It's what Linderung was considering last time around, and certainly is a champion that Sangyun has
Is the
been...
duo coming out on blue side again? Tahm Kench,
well,
Ezreal?
Why the heck not? I mean, Tahm Kench was insta-locked, as you'd imagine. Core JJ wants to try and get his 5th victory on the champion. And
What an
Tahm Ezreal,
amazing duo!
wow, how did you predict that they were going to get this, Papa?
I don't know, they keep doing it every game, and we tweet about it, we meme about it, and they do it again. Tahm Kench, Ezreal is the Gen.G special on blue side. Don't need to be a soothsayer to work that one out.
Nope. Lava, what is he going to pick, though? We do have Zoe available. He can head towards that one if he feels like it. Darius available as well. And Linderung has been one of our more successful Darius players.
I know, but I'm scrunching my face a little bit because they've already locked in Shen, and now you're saying Shen support for sure. I guess Ryze could flex, and it could be a Shen Darius lane. But you see Tahm Kench Ezreal is actually not very good to run 2 bruises against Tahm Kench Ezreal. So you're kind of giving a lot of information, and Darius hasn't been a power pick. You might say, well, now we don't have to ban Mundo, but we've seen Mundo beat it, so that's you're going to ban Mundo. It feels like you really get little with this Darius, unless Linderung is not in a confident spot with his champion pool.
Yeah. Okay. I would have liked them to keep the Shen as a flex, like you were talking about. Deny Cuvée going back to his Ornn, give the Shen a little bit of a better lane. We saw that it's not necessarily a winning lane, but is something that is comfortably laned into the Ornn. But the Zoe banned away now, as well as Lava's champion pool is going to get a little bit hit. He hasn't so far played the Ryze in the mid lane just yet, if memory serves.
Look who's being
Cannon
banned.
ban. Okay.
A cannon ban. Very interesting. Something that Cuvée has played in and out of meta many times, AD and AP. So I guess it's a Cuvée ban.
Well, it has to be, right? Because we've already got the bottom lane locked in. And it's more the cannon flex to support rather than anything else.
Is it wrong that I get excited seeing the cannon ban? Looking forward to an eventual Cannon versus Darius matchup, because I guess they're showing what's happening in scrims.
Yeah, true.
That's fun to see another champion that outranges the Darius. I wonder if Cuvée would go all the way back to his Jace, because he did play it from time to time. Hey, speaking of a blast from the past.
And speaking of a decent level 2 there as well, so it's going to be Songwan on his Olaf.
This is a Xin Zhao time, by the way. Xin Zhao was seen by the end of spring season as a counter pick into the Xin, and he'd have Lulu to help him out.
I feel like, yeah, it's going to be aggressive jungler and tank picked up here for Gen.G if they're going to follow the Gen.G script. And
or, you know...
Oh, okay. Not a tank on the top side of the map if that's going to be the gangplank, unless we're going to be jungle gangplanking. Highly doubt that's going to happen, so that's going to be Cuvée once again on the gangplank, wanting to get himself his first... Sorry, wanting to get himself another win on it.
It's going to be the Rengar instead of the Xin. It's going to be Haru on his famous Rengar. I think it's very risky to run Darius versus GP. The GP choice here is quite risky from the side of Gen.G. Suspicious for me, and also the fact that Olaf runs at GP, and Flash doesn't work so well against the Axes, so I think it's a very risky choice. Could have just been an Ornn, like you mentioned, as the Donger is locked in, baby!
We're doing it! We got the first Donger for the LCK!
Yeah!
That's what we're talking about!
Oh, I've been waiting for so long!
Is this bringing you back to your favorite game of all time, Pop Smithy?
Can we get Page Time on Skype?
Oh, we should probably get him on Skype. We'll talk
Joel,
to
are
Joel
you in there?
about it.
Joel, get him on Skype.
Joel, quickly, wake him up! He's probably asleep.
Joel actually came on Skype.
He came on
great.
as if he'd just been asleep. Just like a grumpy dad where like we just ran into his bedroom in the middle of the night. What do you want? Well, it's going to be Lava playing it potentially. We'll see where the swap is going to come in.
To push in bot lane. Let's wait till 20 seconds to decide.
I have a feeling there it is.
Bot lane
That
is
would
going to
make
be
some
it.
sense.
Ah, yes, the inevitable duo of Heimerdinger and Shen.
Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. The Heimer Shen.
The Ninja Donger!
I have a feeling this is just going to be Key sitting in a lane doing nothing and Sangyun setting up turrets the whole time. I feel like most of the time, Heimerdinger doesn't have too much trouble fending off 2 people at once.
I'm so happy. I needed this in the third best of 3 of the day. I've been asking for the Donger for a couple of days now, and Heimerdinger hits the Rift. Happy, happy times. All right, OGN, you know your job. When was the last time we saw Heimerdinger in the LCK?
I personally don't know.
I don't know either, and I know a lot of stuff about the LCK. So I'm guessing 2013, maybe 2012. OGN will find it. That is definitely a stat they will put on the screen.
Yeah. And it's going to be quite a few days ago as well, guys. So,
oh, yeah.
Oh, man. It's the most classic Gen.G composition, apart from maybe the tank missing from the top side of the map. But Heimerdinger has now hit the rift in the hands of Hanwha Life Esports. We'll see whether they can get a victory for it and see whether Haru's going to suffer his first loss or whether Gen.G will do Gen.G things. Let's hit the rift. Alright guys, Gen.G versus Hanwha as our final match of the night, and thankfully to keep Papa Smithy awake, we've got the Heimerdinger, and that Bard looks amazing!
Big key
fan,
there.
yeah, of course.
It's Happy Key Day. It's not a key party though, I don't think, so different thing.
Oh, it's just so Studio Ghibli themed. It was beautiful.
Bard is kind of bespoke, so I can be a fan.
It's like a Totoro type throwback there as well. Miss Totoro.
Attila did this, I think. It was good old friends over in the EULCS, Vitality, coached by my friend Yamato Cannon, who has been playing with that bot lane donger, and here is a bot lane donger. You can be ever present. TP bot lane meta has been there for 80 carries, so why not?
Yeah.
The Heimerdinger to refill his mana and be annoying. And you see Ezreal Tom Kench, and you say, they are so safe. They can do so many things. You know what they're not good at? Atlas? Pushing. You know what Heimerdinger is good at? Pushing.
Yeah. In fact, that's about all he's good at. But he does it extraordinarily well.
I mean, he's good at punishing melee champions with his improved turret.
That's true.
That thing that murders bot lane. And Roller and Core JJ didn't try to fight for level 1, so they can't be too surprised that the turrets were definitely put down earlier. Well, and now Haru's saying, it's solo queue, I want to kill Darius, who's overextending.
And he's going to do so. Of course, Cube is going to land. Oh, gets the passive on him as well. Now he's just looking tasty. Haru going to make his way in as the minion wave is going to crash as well. Linderung flashing very early, but red buff is going to come in. Doesn't actually get the E. The bowler not going to land as Cube looking for another parlay. Needs another auto. There's the flash, and the flash parlay comes down. Gangplank not going to fear this lane as much anymore.
Just no information for the side of Hanwha Life Esports about the start, and Haru does it. He goes red buff into gank top as here we go. The last donger, 2014 spring. GBM then of the Jin Air Falcons losing to Ryu on the KT Bullets, and that is actually in the LCK, not including the NLB game, which of course is the challenger version of LCK that I cast. The only ever game of Heimerdinger. It's the second ever.
Yeah. This is the second ever Heimerdinger. Absolutely amazing. And it's going to be, hopefully, you know, we'll see what the stats are going to say. It's going to be difficult for Hanwha Life to actually bring us up to a 1-to-1 as far as the win rate is concerned. We'll see whether Sungyun's going to be able to do it for Heimerdinger. He's got Heimerdinger fans behind him.
2014 spring. SKT were the reigning champions. The format of the tournament was completely different. What percentage of the viewers were watching in 2014 spring on a different stream? They certainly won on LCK1 back then.
Yeah.
Many years ago that was.
That was when you had to subscribe to OGN as well.
Get that HD, baby.
Get that HD. I did.
Only channel I ever subscribed to, actually.
Really?
I've gotten gifted subscriptions, so it's not 100% true, but when it came to my own money, yes.
More frugal than I, because I like to get them emotes. But Sungyun doing Heimerdinger things down here on the bottom side of the map. You can see the adorable little turret. He had a lot of different skin choices that he could have gone towards. This is not my personal favorite on the
Is
Dom.
this Blast Zone? Or is it the newer one?
No, this one's been around for a while. I remember buying it back in Australia, so it must have been at least
The Mars Attack skin is my favorite.
I know, it is so good!
I know, and I love Mars Attacks.
Oh, it's exactly what I was going to say, Pop. I'm so glad they're on the same level. This is like the crunchy peanut butter all over again.
That was in a different esport that we had that discussion. But by the way, guys, just to let you know, both of us, crunchy peanut butter the only way to go.
Yep.
If you're into smooth peanut butter, I don't have nice things to say.
No, and especially not about your peanut butter choices.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Joel just piped up.
Uh-oh.
And he didn't even call it smooth.
All right, I'm done with him.
Disaster? I can't even speak anymore. I'm so upset. That's all I need to do, Papa. Oh, no. Okay, well, there's a lot of turrets set up here. There's Sungyun pushing. And it's just getting more and more annoying. And what I have the troubling task of having to do now is remember Heimerdinger's ability names, which is straight up impossible. So I'm going to tell you guys that I definitely lied. And Cuvee, he's going to win the battle of the barrel.
He's got
up
the
here on
turret,
top side.
the missiles, the grenade, and the big turret.
No, the techmaturgical repair bots.
I can see your Google.
I know. I just told everyone that I did look it up. I'm not.
Isn't
I'm
that
not
his passive?
pastry
Isn't that his
time.
passive name?
Yeah, I think so, but it's the most fun name. Techmaturgical. Oh man.
Well, he's with the surgeon, so I don't know. It's all fine.
Yep.
Wait, no, this is the. Isn't this the I'm certainly not Sub-Zero skin?
Yeah, it is. It is definitely not Sub-Zero. Just like
The Mortal
definitely
Kombat
not.
skins got way uglier when they changed them.
Yeah, they really did. And
They
the
also got
Scorpion
li-
skin just looks nothing like Scorpion anymore. Bothers
Maybe that was on purpose.
me. Well, you'd hope so.
King Rammus still looks a lot like
Yeah.
a certain Koopa.
A certain Cooper, yes. We've got a certain Haru taking a lot of damage. Jumps back in the brush as the Ignite is ticking down. The bowler is it going to land? I don't think so as Lava still looking for more. They are going to get the cannon barrage. And Key, he has to run for the hills. 2-0 now for Gen.G. As Lava, he can actually go down to fly. Another auto is going to come in there. Not going to be quite enough, as the Airy isn't able to finish off the kill, and Lava did have the potion ticking, but Gen.G still asserting their dominance despite the Donger.
Was the flash all in from Fly, not enough to get the kill, so only ends up trading summoners. All inning onto a Rengar is never truly attractive, and then the moment the wild growth came back in, I'm sure Songwon felt the lingering doubt. Haru himself, down in experience compared to Olaf, has been power farming, while the Rengar has been able to make the ganks happen, so I'm sure he'll be able to close the gap. And for Heimerdinger, well, he's pushed a lot.
Yeah, it's a nice taunt to come in here, but Core JJ, of course, is going to have the Devour at the ready because he's been doing it for many seasons. Now, Cubade's going to eat himself some oranges, get some parlays down as well, and has his barrels set up. Everything's completely okay. Of course, this is going to be, once again, the Klepto gangplank up the top lane. I thought maybe we'd be seeing some grasp here, but a little bit greedy from Cuvee, but the level 2 gank means that it's absolutely fine.
But if you, again, you don't want to be results orientated, but when you see someone pick GP into your Darius, then maybe I'll have to hold the point.
Yeah, Haru taking a lot of damage, does get the heal back from the W, but still has to flash. Jumps back in, looking for Lava. They're playing the funny business, but it's not funny enough as Songwan just smacks him in the face.
Yeah, no backup, no ultimate, so he goes down. The wild growth on cooldown, the GP ult on cooldown. That was hand in the cookie jar that time by the Rengar. But just for a bit of posterity, it's Klepto Gangplank in a very losing matchup against Darius. Shouldn't be surprised that level 2 gank is coming.
That's true.
He was pushed up. He didn't even get caught putting down a ward. He actually just got ganked down the lane. So Linderang was playing like there was no jungler, and everything about Gen.G was very curious. They would go for the GP in that spot. So nicely done. Good snowball on the side of Gen.G.
The really scary thing here is that Cuvee got both of the kills.
Yeah, now it's a 2-kill game, and that is troubling.
A real worry, because that was the lane that we felt was probably a problem here for Gen.G.
And what do we know about GP is enough ganks, and he kind of wins every matchup against a melee.
I mean, I think that sort of works out for most champions.
Well, you know, some of them not so much, but
if I've got 16 kills and my opponent's 0-16, I'm likely to win, is my thinking.
When it gets to the double digits, then perhaps we are correct, as Haru's walking on a multitude of wards.
Yeah, there's a smattering, definitely.
No, a smattering is 1 or 2. This is like, we're getting there. We're really pushing up.
There was 2.
Screw you.
Slava will be able to steal away this blue buff, so 2 wards, certainly this early on, feels definitely more than a smattering, I understand.
We'll
that
say
steal's nice.
This seems to be the one kind of gap in the playbook for Hanwha Life Esports. Is just too much Darius. I think they're too one note on the Darius. I know Linderang has had good performances on it, but I think throwing everything out to get Darius every time in the first round and screwing up the flex pick was bit of an error. They could still win, but just the one thing I've noticed I wanted to ruminate on.
Yeah. And Haru's been set behind just a little bit with that one death as well. So currently quite a few camps behind Songwan as he's suffered the loss of his topside jungle as well. And those wards that you were mentioning before inside there means that Cuvee has to play a lot more carefully. So exactly the result that Hanwha Life Esports wanted on the top side, just to play damage control.
Speaking of damage control, I do want to mention that You know, we like the Donger into Ezreal and Tahm Kench. We also know that Shen support is not going to have the biggest lane presence, and in this sort of a game, it's more about packing up and leaving than about necessarily helping in the 2v2. Heimer Fiddle is what we saw over in the EULCS. Heimer plus a range support like Zyra would definitely have a lot of ability to run over the lane because they've kind of picked half and half. A bit of team utility, a bit of laning. Sometimes you don't get the most out of either of those things, and the end result is that Ezreal's actually pretty heavily out-farmed.
Yeah, he's also able to get this shove on as well over and over again as the turret is going to die to this minion wave as well. So Sungyun suffering a little bit, but it might have to do with the fact that Cuvée is very, very strong, does have a cannon barrage that he can throw into the bottom lane at a moment's notice as well, so they do need to be playing carefully with the vision control certainly in the hands of Gen.G as well.
We're slowly trying to close the gap in experience. Songwon is, man, he's really got a lot of cannons.
Oh yeah, he is. He's been killing creeps over and over again.
10 CS ahead of his top lane. Take that, Darius.
The back's actually going to come down from Haru, wants to finish off some items, as now Shelly is going to cop a battering with a bunch of axes here from Songwon. The Viking should be able to grab her in the back of this pit as well. All too easy. This Olaf just so strong, so accelerated here. Level 8, same level as his solo lanes.
It's sign that we're going to see a competitive game somewhat on Hanwha Life Esports accelerated. They were all behind, and it might just be another Gen.G run over their opposition. But let's see if it is another 3-game series like this rivalry has evolved to be. Nice little golf clap from the Hanwha Life Esports side of the audience.
You got CoreJJ going for a bit of a jaunt in the enemy jungle, trying to get some vision down. Pings are going to come in from Hanwha Life Esports though, so they should be able to clear these relatively easily. I'm going to utilize a control ward to take that one down. Of course, doesn't have a sweeper anymore because Shelly's occupying that spot. Top lane, of course, is just calm, but what can Hanwha Life Esports do away from the gangplank, who is very, very strong?
Well, in the bot lane, ostensibly not push. They haven't really found a good use of the Shen either. Olaf showing up behind someone with a Shen ultimate sounds like a nice move, and I guess Heimer will be really good at not giving up his turret without a fight.
Well, another taunt and another devour. Gonna have to try and get them both with that one key if you want to really lock down this duo lane.
If Shen leaves, you can just either put down a super turret or go for your evolved rockets and clear out a minion wave. So a couple of different ways for Heimerdinger to 1v2.
Yep.
Shen himself has actually removed himself from bot lane, looking for the chance to roam.
And I guess what we need to talk about here is what's going to happen in the later stages of the game. How is Sungyun going to be utilized for Hanwha Life Esports to win in a team fight if they don't have a AD carry?
Well, he's definitely not a one-for-one replacement for an AD carry outside of Baron taking, of which he is great, and denying melee champions, because if they're chilling on 3 turrets and his ultra turret, then it's real bad. So there are certainly situational places he can replace, and around neutrals he can do a good AD carry impersonation, but they have loaded on the magic damage. Maybe one of the few reasons to understand the Darius is the want to go into the Donger, but yeah. Again, data points on Heimerdinger in Korea are one ever.
Yeah.
So
that's a difficult question.
And GBM left, so I can't message him right now and ask him.
Damn it. I was expecting you to be able to. That's what I wanted. I was happy to take over the cast for a little bit if you just wanted to hop on the phone.
If I called him now, there'd be at least a 60% chance he picked up. It's not that early in Turkey.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Gen.G, Cuvé's gone back. He's got a Trinity Force already. It's 13 minutes. Oh, 14 minutes. We're rounding up. Still, that's ridiculous. Got a Banner of Command as well coming into the mid lane, as we've almost got 2-item Ruler sitting on his Manamune already. His back timings were about as perfect as you can possibly get. Sungyun setting up here with Shelly. His Ruler will need to be careful, but there's the Abyssal Voyage. Tower is going to stay standing. Ooh, oh, that was clean. Gets out of the way of the rockets.
There is 3 bad guys here trying to take down this turret.
Yep. And Spirit's Refuge there to make sure that they're not going to get poked down, but still, there's a lot of melees in here and some low range, so not able to take too much as Ruler just so good at being aggressive, but Lava's going to make his way in. Arcane Shift held on to here as he gets devoured instead. Ruler's so good at trusting CoreJJ.
And notice that Fly can promote a minion, then pack up and leave lane. So Hanwha Life really, really want this turret.
Well, they should actually be able to get it here as well as, okay, the ultimate's going to come in. So Thrill of the Hunt used by Haru, but very patient.
Just buying
just
time.
Zoning ultimate just to reset the wave.
And also to allow free time for this promoted minion in mid lane. We're going to call him KSV to push. KSV
Right.
getting a really good push in mid lane. And that's what can happen. You counted the cooldowns. They waited for the root, then Devour came out. And the moment the next minion wave came out, that's when Rengar pressed ultimate. So very nice play here. Very clean stuff on the side of Gen.G. And they lose most of the turret HP. In fact, KSV might get the turret.
Yeah, that's one more auto, and Fly is going to do it. First turret blood going over to Gen.G, and all of the gold onto the Lulu that wants to be building the next item after the Banner of Command. That's mainly just helpful. Teleport will get Ruler back towards the bottom side as well. CoreJJ pretty close to getting his ultimate back off cooldown, so he'll be able to follow. And Gen.G just able to weather this storm so perfectly. This is what we've come to expect from this team after their last two zeros.
Reminiscent of what we saw from Griffin in our first game of the night, where you can trade up, and it's very clear where one team is just that little sliver ahead of the enemy team. So nicely executed. It's not the sort of thing to blow open the game, but you do that 5 times in a game, you probably win.
Yeah.
All things considered. Songyun didn't get turret first, and that's what the Donger is all about.
Songyun also gets Mystic Shotted a few times. He's going to be in trouble. The Flash Taunt not going to land as Ruler. Good positioning right now. Grey Health going to be eaten, but CoreJJ has to be careful, and he's going to go down. Songwon gets behind Lava. He's going to get slowed down, but Ruler, he's very, very low, and they will have to give up this turret now.
Songyun actually evolves his rockets there, trying to make the players back.
Oh,
back
almost gets it, but too many bad guys in front, and that's going to mean that he's not going to be going, not going to die. He's going to be able to go home a little bit later.
359 hit points. Seems like Haru has given up on this one. They're finally going to vacate it, but it's precious time. That was won by the Lulu. Lulu also denies another minion wave in the mid lane, so definitely some CS being denied, but only to an equalization of the matchup. Looking at damage dealt, and the Donger just can't hold a candle to Ezreal.
Yeah, but you've seen what Ruler's been doing. He's been weaving every Mystic Shot onto this Heimerdinger, and now he's like 4 Mystic Shots from being just killed by it each time. Going for a very aggressive build on the Heimerdinger as well. We've seen a lot of utility builds on Heimerdinger as, wow, that was aggressive. Ruler, you don't have your Tahm Kench. There's a teleport. Very aggressive as well, but it's right in the middle of Gen.G. and Linderong. What is this about? He's going to deliver a Shen to the team, but does he know how many bad guys there are here? Haru jumps on over the top, but that's a Devour to deny the Rengar the kill, and Fly is going to be able to pick that one up. That was a disaster of a teleport.
Really, really poor play from Linderong. So optimistic. Where is everyone on the enemy should always be your question. They didn't know. Linderong certainly did not know. They thought they could make a big play with the Shen. It doesn't work. And now another turret rolls down. And how about a Drake?
Yep, and another promoted minion on this bottom side to keep it shoving, as well as Lava. He's going to flash. Abyssal Voyage gets CoreJJ there, and Lava, nothing he can do. The rest of the team just were nowhere near him. The axe almost comes through, but somehow it's in fact Cuvée that picks up the blue buff.
Banner of Command punishes these out-rotations really hard as well. Hit the bonus kill with the Abyssal Voyage. CoreJJ has been on point and then some on the roaming game so far this season. No surprises with the Gen.G draft. Hanwha Life Esports, they're the ones setting the curveballs, but none of them are counting positively at the moment.
Yeah, are easily going to be able to lock down this Mountain Drake as well with all of the support from his mid laner. Got an Ardent Sensor, most likely on its way to be picked up as second item here as well. So all of the support continues from Fly, and there it is, completed on that back. So Ruler's going to be powered up. Cuvée potentially powered up, as well as Haru, who can be jumping in with that Wild Growth on his back as well. That item going to get a lot of use out of it, much different to what MVP showed us in their Game 1 against SKT.
Haru can start cowering in fear a little bit when he starts seeing Songwon. Before, the Were-Kitty was going only away. Now the item's starting to come in, and look at this, getting much more aggressive. This time on Linderong.
Yeah, he's going to be able to jump on him here as well. He's the only one apprehended as the rest of the team does turn up. Ruler does find that Mystic Shot onto Linderong, who needs to be careful. He has to go home, in fact, as Songyun, he's going to try and set up shop on this Heimerdinger, but it's just not going to be enough.
I want to note that this is a very aggressive build from Songwon. If he does finish the Black Cleaver, really not a fan of Black Cleaver unless you're way ahead, and while he has good farm lead, know if it suits the comp necessarily.
Yeah, often some skepticism towards the Black Cleaver. Ruler's still trying to weave in these Mystic shots where he can find them, even happy to take turret shots by the looks of things.
And Heimerdinger will do at least one thing. He will delay the game. He has very good wave clear. The one fight with the God turret can really work out because the turret does just unbelievable damage if it's left unchecked.
You can do it in AoE as well, which is just disgusting. Now, Gen.G going to be pushing forward, bit upside down on the lanes, but Baron is now set as well. Lots of vision available for Gen.G, but also some defensive vision from Hanwha Life as well, as Ruler denied by the Spirit's Refuge, but gets out of the way of all of Sangyun's damage. It's been how the lane has been going, to be honest. Not one in trouble, but Ruler just so safe.
Miramana Trinity Force. If you're wondering at home, why not so many marksmen?
Oh, he's just going to get Arcane shifted on, and the ulted up rockets are not going to find the mark. Ruler is so aggressive. Because he can be, because Core.JJ will always keep him alive, and he plays so well around that fact.
He dies with everything up, though. Don't know what he was doing on that side, but you're right. Ruler did some great things. The Ezreal, get those two items and be powerful. Just disrespecting Miramana Ezreal with Trinity Force. He's putting out more damage than Hanwha Life Esports can really look to answer, and they take another turret in the face of Hanwha.
Yep, and all of these waves are pushing as well. They're going to go back. Looks like Bilgewater Cutlass is on the menu here for Ruler. He's going to be able to head home and spend that bunch of gold that he already had picked up. In fact, Doran's played, he was thinking about selling it, try and grab himself a recurve bow, but decides he doesn't really feel like it.
And there's that Black Cleaver for the Olaf, so that's probably not going to mean much.
Well, this might mean a lot, as the Cannon Barrage does come down, and if Cuvee can actually find this double kill, that'll be a big problem. Runs towards his team, has his stopwatch available, as see you later, guys. Is he going to burn down? No, he's not, as Key comes in with the Stand United. Linderung very lucky to be alive right now, as Cuvee wants to come back. Double barrel is going to land as the Shen. He's going to be the sacrificial lamb unless he gets out, and he's not, as Cuvee grabs it with the long-range parlay.
Cuvee has already got the Sterix gauge. He was 3 kills. He's accelerated. Can't kill this pirate. He's going to be able to push the bot.
He's almost Flame Horizoned at 22 minutes on the gangplank into Darius.
Yes, that was the correct level of voice breaking.
That's really silly.
Yeah, this game has gone to hell in a handbag for the side of Hanwha, unfortunately, because Gen.G are better than them, and the gimmicks didn't work.
It didn't at all, as well as when you sort of tell Gen.G exactly what kind of comp you're going to run and let them design a composition around it, then it is also going to be a problem, because of course the Darius was obvious, and the only question that we really had was, is it going to be a Rise? But if you put a Heimerdinger down towards the bottom side, Gen.G don't care, because they've got an Ezreal Tahm Kench, and they'll play against anything.
And their comp was ready for a Rise, and Heimerdinger's another magic damage dealer. It doesn't really change the playbook so much. The level 2 gank from Haru was the big MVP.
What is that gold lead, Papa?
You know it's 4,400 gold.
Oh god, that is just disgusting.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Okay.
It's 500 gold less than Shen has altogether.
Yep. Okay, and we've got the double tier coming in for Ruler. He's playing for the late game, because this is totally making it. To the late game, guys. 8,000 gold lead at 23 minutes into the game.
Don't try this at home. He just happened to have the gold, I'm sure.
He's just going to face check. Does have himself the wild growth and the stopwatch there available. Teleport's being bought time for as so many shields come in. Core.JJ to save the Lulu. Great help there to save his own life as now Ruler. He's here. Oh my god, they do eventually take down the Tahm Kench. But now, do they have enough to continue the fight is the question. I have a feeling they might, as Key gets himself the Taunt Cannon Barrage. Stops Sangyun from getting anything done at all, as Ruler over the wall is going to be able to get the work done, but the trades working out for Hanwha if they're even, and they are.
2 for 2 there because they were unsure what to do against the Heimerdinger. In the end, Ruler had to get out, wasn't able to do any more damage. Fly's face check provoked all this. Core.JJ almost had a charmed life as this all went on. Fly makes the, let's say, mistake of a face check. He knows he has teammates coming, but that one was unnecessary. He lives through this. When Core.JJ doesn't die to the ultimate from the Darius, I thought he was going to live, but just about burns down as he trades life. The enemy top laner ends up being a 2 for 2. They're waiting on Heimerdinger here. They don't want to walk into melee range of his turret. Ends up being the missile barrage, which misses completely. And a 2 for 2, the end result. Pretty good for Hanwha.
Yeah, not too bad at all. Sangyun is going to survive to donger another day as well. believe that's a James Bond film.
I was thinking of the movie poster when you said it that way.
Entirely sure. Is Linderung going to get some control wards down? Hanwha now able to buy themselves some time around this river as Ruler doesn't really want to let them have it. He's going to continue throwing shots over and over again. Thankfully,
they have a really fast
okay. Yeah, they're going to start it immediately as well, not wasting any time. The turrets, I mean, when you come to a Heimerdinger, he's going to be feeling like a pretty happy little guy. Yep, can Haru actually get in there? Thrill the Hunt is down as, oh my god, the Olaf, he's dead. Yeah, he doesn't actually have the smite available as Haru just going to pop on over. Thanks for the leash, guys, and the Baron goes to Gen.G. That was a disaster for Hanwha.
You need to use the ultimate on the Heimerdinger to try to increase the speed because the one person who died is the one they needed. And the biggest leash possible, 3,000 health Baron. Nice buff there, Riot.
Yeah.
They move through mid lane. Gen's going to take that turret, and, well, the good news was very short-lived for Hanwha.
Well, Lava at least did some damage in the last team fight, Papa. They're now going to lose their base, though, and that's where the good news stops. Head by over 13,000 gold now. Cuve, not sure what he's building here. Might be the Stormrazor yet again.
No, it's going to be, yes, Stormrazor, you're right. For the crit barrel, seems to be standard itemization on GP
just
right
finishes
now.
It. Confirmed immediately.
Got the lifesteal there for seemingly no reason. Now, notice that Sungyun doesn't use the super turret, which would mean that Olaf didn't have to tank any damage. And, you know, could have blocked some Mystic Shots too.
And they also just get themselves out of there so that the Baron goes over for very, very free. Of course, they would have died to all of Gen.G otherwise and possibly just straight up lost the game, but it does feel a bit sad to leave all of your hard work.
On the upside, he now has his ultimate available.
Cool. That's a huge upside.
Speaking of huge upsides, it's a 5,500 gold lead for the good old Gangplank now.
Half of the gold lead in this game is on the top lane.
Will a barrel hit the Heimerdinger? It may kill him.
Well, the Mystic Shots are almost killing him as Lava takes 3 and almost dies. Ruler just right underneath this turret. No fear at all. We've been saying it all game. Inhibitor will fall down on the bottom side. Mid lane, of course, already taken. And now the base is going to be sieged in earnest. Gen.G, they've got banners of command, they've got all of the options. Another barrel is going to land there, Papa, but I believe the Stormrazor was on cooldown, which is why it didn't insta-kill the Donger. And Heimerdinger's looking to remain on 0% win rate here in the LCK. Fly is just laughing. That's literally all he's doing. Is the last-ditch effort is going to come in. Cannon Barrage immediately put down as Realm Warp just says, you're not padding your stats anymore, just end it. We are done. Hanwha Life can have to look for game 2 because that was a slaughter.
Hanwha Life Esports try a lot of things at once, but unfortunately they kind of come unstuck. The Olaf was big in the mid game. We thought maybe upon maybe could they make it work, but too quickly they accelerated their own demise. The Baron at the end, kind of symbolic of some of the mistakes the Hanwha were making. The Rise, the Vlad, they got their head around those, but with the Heimerdinger, a very specific style of champion. First the Shen not helping him in lane, a range support, try to push, into just not making anything else around the map. The Gen.G right now seem like a top 2 team in Korea. Stormfall.
Yep, and I feel like it's time to put the Gouda back in the fridge. And let's just play some League of Legends because the Heimerdinger on the bottom side of the map didn't work. The Gangplank getting completely out of control, and it was just one level 2 gank. Came in from Haru, and it felt like that whole matchup was for naught. And something tells me that Hanwha Life Esports knew that that was the beginning of the end, because as soon as a Gangplank becomes that much of a problem, what do you do? When that's the matchup, you're banking on winning. And Linderung throws his life away on the bottom side of the map, looking like desperation. It felt like they knew they were circling the drain.
Hope they have a new plan for Linderung in the top side. The Darius priority again and again and again. They need some backups to that strategy. Give me a Singe. Give me something a little bit different to try to find impact in the top lane. Doesn't have to be a tank, but unfortunately, around that, they seemed a little short on ideas. A lot of ideas around the bot lane. Not well executed, and I think, again, a bit half-baked because they went with the Shen and the Heimerdinger negative synergy. Yeah. Well, he did almost as much damage to enemy teams. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think we had a game that went for an extra 30 minutes in our last series. Yeah, it was in fact the last game of our last series, and that was the top damage in that game as well, with an extra whole bunch of time to play.
You know, this Tom Kench Ezreal thing seems to be pretty good. You know?
I feel like maybe it should get banned. I want to know what Core JJ's scoreline was as well. He did die once or twice in that game, but otherwise still did fantastically well. Came into it with a 25 KDA. My goodness, Gen.G. Some changes need to be made on the Hanwha side to stop them from getting all of this comfort and finding the victories. Guys, we are going to go to a short break, but when we get back, it might be our final game of the night for our Super Wednesday, or Hanwha could bring it back. We'll find out after this.